What if the story of America and Britain was never truly about separation, but about a secret lineage, a hidden alliance, and a buried truth that still shapes our world today? Long before the ink dried on the Declaration of Independence, there were rumors of bloodlines stretching across the Atlantic, of treaties written in secret, of families who never really severed their ties. Tonight, we will uncover the forgotten relationship between the United Kingdom and the land that would become the United States. A story of ancient voyages, lost colonies, royal influence, hidden marriages, and erased treaties. This is not a conspiracy, this is history, stripped bare. Long before Columbus sailed under Spain's banner, the shores of North America had already been touched by British hands, or rather, by their ancestors. Celtic legends from Wales and Ireland spoke of distant lands to the west, lands of fertile soil and strange people. There are even whispers of Prince Madoc, a Welsh noble who set sail around the 12th century and, according to folklore, never returned, but his descendants may have. Norse explorers like Leif Erikson reached Newfoundland around the year 1000, but the influence didn't stop there. Early British monks, traders, and even fishermen ventured further, quietly mapping, recording, and sometimes settling in these unknown lands. These were not state-sponsored missions but private, quiet forays, ones that left faint traces in rock carvings, oral traditions, and even in the bloodlines of tribes along the eastern seaboard. The first secret connection was not about conquest. It was about contact, whispers across the ocean. By the 1500s, Britain was rising. Explorers, chartered companies, and noble families saw opportunity across the ocean. But the colonies we read about, the Roanoke, the Jamestown, are just the visible tip of the iceberg. Beneath the official history were forgotten settlements, secret trade outposts, hidden fortresses, and families that quietly built roots. Some early British settlers married into native tribes not out of politics, but survival and alliance. These unions created mixed lineages, hidden bloodlines that still echo in some family trees today. British merchants left children behind. Native chieftains sent sons to Britain to learn their ways. And some of these lineages quietly became the foundation of colonial elites, even after America declared independence. Certain families in Virginia, Massachusetts, and New York still carried titles, wealth, and secret allegiance to Britain. Independence was never a full divorce for them, it was a rearrangement. History books often present British native relations as endless conflict wars, betrayals, broken promises. But hidden in archives are treaties that never saw daylight, pacts of mutual defense, trade agreements, even blood oaths. One of the most intriguing, correspondence between certain Iroquois leaders and British royals, suggesting a shared ancestry myth, claiming that the red and white lineages once crossed the same ancient river. Whether symbolic or not, such alliances were real enough to shape how some tribes acted during the American Revolution, choosing sides not just out of politics, but out of heritage. These agreements were later buried, sometimes literally. British officials ordered the destruction of certain documents after 1776 to avoid exposing families who might be accused of treason. The American Revolution is told as a war for freedom, but behind the musket smoke, some British families never truly left. They simply adapted, changing names, shifting loyalties publicly, while keeping ties intact privately. Several of the founding fathers were themselves descendants of British aristocrats or connected by marriage. Financial flows from London, banking houses continued to support key industries in the colonies: tobacco, shipping, textiles long after independence. The result, America gained a flag, a Congress, a sense of self-governance. But many of its deepest power structures remained tied to British influence. The secret UK-US ancestral web wasn't only European and native. African explorers, sailors, and even scholars, many traveling under British flags, played a hidden role. There are records of African navigators in British expeditions decades before the transatlantic slave trade peaked, some intermarrying with native groups along the southeast coast. Later, during the colonial era, certain African-descended individuals became key intermediaries fluent in English, tribal languages, and coastal trade dialects. They were both bridge and barrier, often written out of history. Even today, certain elite American families have traceable ancestral lines too. British aristocracy, some major institutions, universities, banks, even fraternal orders were seeded by these early transatlantic networks. The special relationship between the UK and USA in politics isn't just about shared language or NATO. It is, in part, ancestral continuity, old alliances rebranded as modern diplomacy, from the Skull and Bones Society at Yale to royal visits at the White House. These ties have evolved but never fully disappeared. So, what does this mean? It means history is not what we were told. America was not born from nothing, and Britain did not vanish from its soil in 1776. Their ancestries are intertwined by blood, by paper, by secrets. The past is not gone. It whispers in our archives, hides in our surnames, lives in the old treaties no one reads. And if we dare to look closer, we may find that independence was never the whole story. History is written by the victors, they say, but sometimes the truth is written between the lines.